Hi, my name is Webster Wheeler, and I'm going to tell you today a little bit about myself and how I got into keeping green tree pythons. I first started off with tropical fish. I liked them. I became pretty good at keeping them, and to the point where I wanted to start a business doing that. And at one point, I was sharing a warehouse with a reptile wholesaler, and you know, I'm kind of interested in those things. This was, I think, back in the mid-90s or so, and one thing led to another. I got my first ball python. It was probably a wild caught. I got a pair, got some eggs. That was great. I thought I was going to let them maternally incubate. A disaster. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about humidity or nothing. I knew they were in the hide box, and I wasn't going to disturb them. Fast forward to 5 years later, 1999. I'd been wanting to get green tree pythons, and I thought, okay, now's a good time to do it. I was making pretty good money. I could afford to get some. I wanted to get a locality shipment of farm bred animals. I wanted Arus because I had read they were the most peaceful. That's what I wanted. And then I put together an order. 15 baby green tree pythons. The name of the place was Harptopana in Indonesia. It was operated by a fellow by the name of Duncan McCrae. So I decided to go on kingsnake.com and post. Did anyone know anything about Duncan McCrae and Harptopana in Indonesia? Well, next thing you know, all hell broke loose. Okay. I had Greg Maxwell in particular, Tim Phillips, Trooper Walsh chimed in, even Duncan McCrae chimed in about the pros and cons of getting snakes from a farm. Anyways, I decided on the basis of probabilities and whatever, it's going to be okay, because at the very end of the long series of back and forth, Trooper Walsh, who a shout out to you, Trooper. You were a true gentleman. You finished the argument or the discussion, not really, by saying, well, you know what? If Duncan McCrae ships Webb Wheeler bad animals, he would have to be the craziest person on earth. So anyways, that's how that ended. I got my shipment in February of 2000, in February of 2000. We got in 15 neonate yellow baby green tree pythons. The shipment came in well, no problems. There had been a lot of discussion on king snake about how they would probably be infested with parasites and all of that. So I've got a little experience working with microscopes and whatever from my days back fish keeping and having to analyze stuff of my own. Veterinarians don't you think veterinarians don't know about snakes? They know nothing about fish. Anyways, I know how to use a microscope. I know how to identify parasites and things. And so the first thing I did is I examined the stool. I put each animal in individual quarantine, Rubbermaid box, and waited for it to poo. I didn't feed it, just waited for it to poo. Shortly they all did eventually. The big concern was that there was going to be parasites and it was going to have been started on lizards and whatnot. Duncan assured me that he used pinkies. Okay. So here was the big test. Okay, I'm going to look under the microscope and see, do I see fur or do I see scales? Guess what? All fur. No problem. They were in great health, I have to say. Unfortunately, you know, as a beginner, I kept them too humid, too wet. And maybe too warm. They quickly developed respiratory infections, which I probably wouldn't have known about, except they also had blister disease, and I could easily see blister disease was not good. So I did some research. I dried them up, changed the tanks, and out of the 10 that I kept, 7 of them survived by hook or crook. And that's a different story. I'll get into that right now, but just disclosure, I think I might be committing a felony. Anyways, I hope the statute of limitations is run out on this. They had respiratory infection, and I knew that the drug I needed to treat them with was ciprofloxacin, but I'll get it. I didn't know in advance. But I also knew that I could, I've gotten it before for food poisoning, and I knew that if I pretended like I had food poisoning and went to my doctor, maybe he would prescribe it, and sure enough he did. And that's how I was able to treat my remaining green tree pythons for respiratory infection. Oral dose of ciprofloxacin. Fast forward, it's 2017 now, so fast forward 17 years. Out of the 7 snakes I had, I think I've sold a number of them. None of them have died in my care, and I still have one left. It's who I call Yellow Bastard. The whole time I've been sitting here with Yellow Bastard on my lap. Right here, I'm just going to move back a little bit so you can, and I'm also going to put the camera down a bit so that you can see Yellow Bastard right there. Okay, he's right here. He's been sitting here the whole time. If you want to see how I get such peaceful snakes, please watch my video on how to handle and tame your green tree python. It's up on YouTube. This is Yellow Bastard. I called him Yellow Bastard. I just call all my males bastards and bitches just to keep it simple, okay? This is Yellow Bastard. I called him Yellow Bastard because, as you can see, he doesn't really have any white spots. And he's mostly yellow, but he's got, let me see, move him up here closer to the light, to the camera, I guess. Not the light. You can see he's got pretty blue patterns and yellow on the bottom and pretty green. Thank you for being such a nice boy, Yellow Bastard. Okay, so this is Yellow Bastard. You can tell Yellow Bastard is 17 years old. You can tell he's an old snake. I mean, if you look here, I'm going to compare his head to my thumb. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but my thumb is right next to his head. I've got my thumb right now. My point is that the older your snakes get, they may not get any bigger, but their heads keep growing, okay? That's a little thing I've learned. People have said, well, where else did you get these other snakes from? Okay? All of the snakes I had are descendants of that one shipment. I've never bought another green tree python since then. These are all babies. My goal is selective breeding to produce personality traits that I am breeding for, to produce color traits that I'm breeding for, to produce size traits I'm breeding for, all these things. And I've been breeding green tree pythons reasonably successfully over multiple generations. I think I'm on my 4th or 5th generation now. That's a bit about me. I'll try and update my channel with other videos frequently. One last thing, you may notice I'm wearing this shirt here. You may not have noticed what this shirt says, and it says ministry. Ministry was a great sort of alternative band back in the early 90s. I think they wrote my theme song. They wrote this song for me. Every day is Halloween. If you want to know more about me, look up that song. Thanks very much. My name is Webster Wheeler, and happy Green Tree Python keeping.